deals, not mistakes we make. We're not here to decorate history, we're here to change it. Then let's start with plain language. We're getting healing from our oceans. You stop lifting our people and the cows, especially the cows. Your seas. Fucking hell, the gate's closing. Gates don't make it. I can't believe that worked. I need to find this gate in here. Punch it! It's right on the boat. It's flat out already. Hold it steady. It just poured at us like what? They got shooting out. Bridge ahead. If we make the gate, we're clear. Why doesn't it have to be? King of the world. There it is. Don't drop in there. Look at that sunset. It's not bad, actually. Pretty good way to end the day. Moving forward, I've got you. I don't know about this fight. Trust me. Arms out. Like this? Yeah. Just flying. Feels more like I'm being held hostage. Come on, man. Say the line. I'm the king of the world. There it is. Don't drop. Wouldn't dare. Look at that sunset. It's not bad, actually. Pretty good way to end the day. First. I'll take it. Yes! We're going. I'm okay with that, man. My turn.
How are you running? That thing's blowing up everything in sight. How do you outrun a robot with rocket arms, man? One step at a time. Watch the blast. Take cover, take cover. We need a plan. Plan later. Panic is progress, gentlemen. Get out of the dinosaur.
Born ready. Gentlemen, but by my calculations, structural integrity of the ring is already questionable.
Let's end this thing. Get go.
Tag me in quick. Move left.
Finish it. Now, all together. 1, 2, 3.
Victory probability spikes to 1.
Cruisers are now a bike. If we keep pushing, we might lose them before the bridge.
Or we might flame out and end up on an evening news. This thing's a brick on wheels, man.
We told y'all when we stole it. Feels like a ride to couch with a VH tattoo.
Quit complaining. Next alley on the right. Cage.
Go in, go down, they're blind.
Stay cool. We got this.
Best exit ever. Let's go.
Jumping into uncertainty! All the variables!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay. Citizens, brace for implausible giggle forces. Probability of uncontrollable amusement, 100.1%. Humor core, reaching maximum spasm. Haha hazard levels optimal. Four, three, two, one. Chaotic turbulence at tolerable levels. Steady, steady. Initiating comedic breach protocol. Behold, the future of comedy show. Live cast.
It's quite an intro.
What's up? Welcome to the Future of Comedy Show live cast. We have a very special guest. You see him live on the right side of the screen from my point of view. He's a working comic. He's hilarious. He's been on the Future of Comedy Show. And coming up in August, he's going to be headlining the Mark Ridley Comedy Castle August 13th through the 15th. And if you guys haven't watched the show before, basically you guys question, you guys comment, we respond. Tim, how you doing, brother? You doing good?
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad today. How about yourself, Mike?
I'm having a freaking crazy day, dude. A crazy day. I was just upstairs. I'm trying to get ready for the live cast. My girlfriend has to go take her grandma dinner, right? So I'm watching the babies right before the live cast. I got to get everything going by 8 o'clock, right? I'm like, Tim's coming. Tim's coming. My daughter's in the closet walking around doing marching, going, fuck, 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 fuck. And I'm like, what is going on? And then I go to set up the live cast, and the camera that I shoot on is just missing. So I'm shooting off an iPad. And then I got this sweet Joe Rogan fucking mic, Tim, and I can't use it because I can't hear what you say when I plug in the Joe Rogan mic. So I'm using these iPads. I'm using everything I had before after all this equipment. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good, Tim, and I'm glad to see you.
That's what you get for following Rogan, I guess, man.
Well, it's not Rogan. It's I think you really, for it to work with these, you gotta have people in the studio, and I think that's where we're gonna be shifting to. eventually is like, everybody just come here. I got this sweet 1970s fucking table, dude. I want people to sit around the table, break bread, promote what they're doing. Man, it's good to see you. I know you've been going through you've been going through a lot of stuff. Before we get into the, let's get these comments that have been popping in here. We got Dick Dickerson, freaking whipping it back and forth like Willow Smith, just living his dream. It's about to go down. Appreciate you, Dick. Always popping in. Any questions? Brett, comic from Mount Pleasant, said it's time with the freaking best headshot. That's a freaking dope ass headshot right there. That's dope. Dick Dickerson says dope intro. That's what's up. And that's what happens when you shop on Temu. That God, this is from Guitar Center, dude. Guitar Center, and I got Dave Welfare's sweet Roadcaster Pro 3000, and I can't get anything to work. Robert Yeri says, "Good evening, guys." Okay, let's get back to Tim Finkel. You've been doing comedy. How long you been doing comedy for, Tim?
10 years now.
10 years. You're a
Yeah.
killer on stage. What got you into comedy?
Oh yeah, well, I'd always been like a huge fan of comedy, and I didn't know how to start or anything like that. And I had an older brother who had actually suddenly died on my 30th birthday 17 years ago. And
Wow.
my wife never knew how to approach that day or anything. And then one day on my birthday, she said, "Keep the day open. I got something special for you." I thought we were going to go to like the zoo or a pumpkin patch or something I don't care about. And she gave me an envelope that morning, and she said, "I signed you up for a comedy 101 class. You got to leave for it in 2 hours, and it ends in a final performance." That was Bill Bouchard's class. I didn't know who Bill Bouchard was. I didn't know anything about it. I walked in with an empty notebook and an open mind, and then it all snowballed from there.
Also from there, I might. No, just frozen everywhere. Oh, frozen. This is.
You're back a little bit.
Oh, I'm back. Oh, now Tim's gone. You there?
I'm here.
All right. If you guys are watching, man, we're having some technical difficulties. Tim's getting frozen. I'm getting frozen. The the technology overlords they're coming after me. I don't know what's going on. But I had a similar story that got me into comedy is when my dad passed away. I was like, man, dude, like I was running a lawn service and I was like, man, because I didn't, you don't ever think like like your dad's gonna die, and you're just like, oh man, I gotta live my life. I gotta do what I want to do. Tomorrow's not guaranteed, and I just went after it. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to LA. I'm gonna go see what it's all about because I thought that's how you did it. I didn't know you could just do it in Michigan. I didn't know you could
Sure.
just be like, oh, I'll just go down to Hill's Bar and I'll go
Yeah.
do a show there.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. We're streaming. I don't know what. I wonder. I wonder if Stephanie's streaming something. I'm saying I got the good charter too. Like what the heck, charter? Um, there we go. Dick Dickerson says, Mike Ball, I remember meeting shortly after you came from LA. Yeah, Dick Dickerson. Those were the days. Those were the Hamlin Street days. We'd go down to Hamlin Street, do the open mics, and do you think like Tim? Did you do a lot of open mics before you got good, or were
I
you like
did.
immediately
I
like
did when I started, and I still every once in a while try to hit a mic up. I'm trying to go to one on Thursday this week. I mean, there's a certain thing over quality over quantity, but there's still a few out there that are decent.
Yeah, there's a good one in Mount Pleasant at Rubbles, man. They always got people there. That's where I like to go do an open mic at. Um, yeah, I feel like those days are like almost like the most fun, like the open mic days, because like you weren't like you were just like, all right, I'm just gonna drive 2 hours to this town in the middle of nowhere and get paid in 2 drink tickets, and then like just crazy stuff happens. Like one lady bought my underwear for $20, and I was just like, I was super broke at the time, so I was like, I gotcha. I went and reinvested in like 5 more pairs of underwear. I was like, all right, here we go. I'm like, I'm flipping these undies, dude, before OnlyFans, and that's the origin of the clean stories, or the clean pants, clean
Yeah,
undies.
I have not had any of my undergarments purchased at an open mic, but I do agree that when you first start, that level of excitement, you kind of get those first few feelings when you kill initially, and then you kind of chase that for the remainder of your career. You're kind of looking for that feeling again.
Here we go. We're getting people bidding me up right here. I would have given you at least 30, Mike. Well, the offer is still on the table. I'm not wearing underwear right now, but I'll go get some. I'll go get some. Well, here's Brandon from Port Huron. Happy New Year's, guys. Thank you. Brandon, our show in Port Huron is going to sell out. 26 tickets left. Get it. January 16th or 17th. It's on the bottom. Oh, 17th. There we go. It's right on the bottom right as we speak. Yeah, so you're rocking and you're rolling. You got Bill Bouchard. He's teaching you. Hey, what's your favorite thing that you learned from Bill? I could tell you mine afterwards.
I don't know if I really learned anything from him. I think my favorite thing, like, that, it was kind of the realization that, like, to just kind of be organic, write as often as you can. And then it was kind of like, I think confidence is what I got the most from him. In the
Yeah.
class, he would sit there and watch everyone, and then every time it was time for me to do my set, he'd just walk out and leave the room, and I'd be like, "What, man?" And then I wouldn't get any feedback, and then he always just told me from the get-go, he goes, you're good, man. Just keep doing it.
All right, here we got a comment from Dave Welfare. I'm click. Oh, it's so funny. I'm so used to my iPad. I'm clicking my laptop like it's a fucking iPad. I'm like pressing the buttons. I'm like, it's not going on. Oh my God, how
Hey, Dave,
embarrassing.
how are you, buddy? Good to see you. It's been a while.
There, Dave Welfare, brother, and Brandon from Port Huron says, "Sweet." Dick Dickerson says, "Tim, how often do you write, and when do you feel it's time to present a new joke?"
Oh, that's great. I used to write a lot more than I do now, but I try every set to have at least one new tag or one new line, or throw one new concept out. That can really, like, energize a set. If it's even just like simple as like changing the way you intonate something or something like that. So I guess formally, I write a few times a week. Informally, I'm like constantly writing in my head and throwing notes in my phone and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. When I first started, Mike Stanley always told me, he's like, put all your new stuff right in the front. You know what I mean? So it makes you have to really, do your best with it, because you're starting your set. You want to start out strong, and
Yeah.
I always liked that. I like to put the new stuff up front. And then what I learned from Bill Bouchard, if you watch his crowd work, uh, you if you notice that he always does the crowd work on the left, he does a crowd work on the right, and he does some crowd work in the middle. So he's engaging the whole audience. It's really smart how he does it. It's kind of like just bringing everybody in and keeping everybody accountable. We actually were just hanging out at One Night Stands when
Sure.
uh did you watch when Bill kept asking questions to the audience that were yes and no answers, and
Yeah.
then they'd answer like yes or no, and then he's like, that's it, that's all you're gonna tell me? And
Yeah.
he'd get mad at him, and then when they finally expounded, he was like, shut the fuck up, nobody
Yeah.
asked you. That was so funny, dude. I was like, this is like some man on the moon stuff. What's his name, the guy man on moon, Andy
Andy
Kaufman.
Kaufman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill is like incredibly algebraic with his crowd work, which is really impressive. It's like you can look at it like a math equation where he's just plugging in variables, and he has all these little veins of different ways he can go with it. and it's pretty great to see, because every time you see him, even like if he's doing the same kind of structure of a crowd work joke, like the 1, 2, 3, Roadhead
Yeah.
Dan or whatever.
Yeah,
Every time you
Roadhead Tim.
see it, it's like seeing it for the first time. Like he kind of like recreates it every time, so you never really get sick of it, which is cool.
Okay, here we go. We got a few stuff here. Steve Len says hello. New Year's Eve was great. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you coming out. We raised like $8,700 for local causes. The David J. Primo Scholarship, the Barb Smith Suicide uh, Resource and Response Network, the Veterans Coalition, and Volunteers Assisting the Disabled. Sweet night. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you. Robert Yeri, what was your worst show and what was your best show? There you go. There's one for you, Tim.
Worst show and best show. I can start with the best. So the best actually happened I guess it's freshest in my head, but I think one of my best, most favorite shows was this past Saturday night, coincidentally. So I had just kind of a backstory of myself. My youngest son was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer in October of 2023, and at the time they had given him 8 to 12 months to live. And for the last 2 years, we've been, doing his treatment. He was treated at University of Michigan, Mott Children's Hospital. Last year, we lived in Seattle, where he was doing a trial out there. And this has been something that has like consumed our entire lives for the last 2 years. And I was still doing comedy during this, but it was a lot more sporadic than what my regular schedule would be. And then, unfortunately, my son died on October 22nd this past year. And so I'd been doing guest spots here and there after that. And this past weekend, I was working with Dave Landau, and it was the first time that I'd gone back and done like a real show since he had died. And so, just getting over that, getting yourself in the mindset to be in front of people and laugh. But I've had material around this for the last 2 years. And this weekend was the first time I had ever told the audience that my son died, and which is a real downer at a comedy show. And what I was particularly proud of is I put together like well-structured material that kind of popped that bubble of tension and did it in a way that was funny and hopeful to the audience. And I always say that comedy, like distilled down to like its purest form, is nothing more than making human connections. And what I've found with this act that I'm doing now and what I'm kind of building up to is I'm like connecting to people on a deeper level than I ever have before, like beyond like dick and fart jokes and stuff. And, after the shows, I've been having people waiting in line to talk to me and give me a hug, share their own stories of loss, which is something that I think everyone can relate to. And it's kind of like opened up this new lane and voice for me in comedy that like I'm super excited about. So that was my best one. That was on Saturday. To answer the flip side of that question, I don't know, in year 1 or 2, when I was doing comedy, we did a show in a bikini bar in Pontiac, Michigan. And this was the type of bikini bar that you would have like paid the women to put their clothes back on. And, it was just a shit show. So that was one of my worst ones.
Well, first off, my condolences to you and your
Yeah.
family. I can't even imagine. I mean, like, how are you dealing with that? Like, how do you deal? I mean, that's probably my worst nightmare in the world
Yeah.
is that,
I
I
think it
got
is
2
everyone's.
kids.
Yeah, no, I think it is everyone's. I don't think there's too many other experiences that you can go through that are worse than that. How we're dealing with it is like a big complex question, but I can tell you in the last 2 years, I always say we lived like literally the greatest 2 years of our life while simultaneously living the 2 worst years of our life. We became incredibly good as a family at being like very present and not taking a single moment for granted or anything like that. So in that regard, I've kind of felt the most alive I have in my entire life. And my son, who passed away, was incredibly funny, and the more his cancer progressed, the funnier he got. And we just kind of had this motto from the get-go that we were going to follow his lead. He never like expressed any fear or anxiety or anything like that. He didn't lose the spirit, even up until his last breath. Um, and he was, he just laughed every single day. And that's kind of why right now comedy feels like the most important for me than it ever has in my life, because I think if my son were still here, he would be incredibly proud that I'm continuing to do it, because he was always like, so proud of me for doing comedy to begin with.
He loves seeing you up on the stage. Did he get to watch you live ever, or did you get to watch
Just
videos?
videos and stuff like that. I had a story of the first day we went to U of M, and he loved watching me make other people laugh. So I made the doctors and the nurses laugh to kind of cut the tension. And he looked at the nurse and like proudly said to her, "My dad's a comedian." And then the
Yeah.
nurse looked back at him and was like, "Oh, that's very cute. Like, I bet your dad thinks he's a comedian." And then
Yeah.
he looked back at her and was like, "No, my dad's a professional comedian."
He is. He is. Here we got
Yeah,
some comments in here, and I got more questions to ask you, but
sure.
we're back here. I'm gonna put them in order so that we can so maybe we can answer them. Love Dave Landau from Dick Dickerson. Thanks for
Yeah, Dave's the
questioning.
best.
Um, Robert, you're a good man, Tim. I'm very sorry for your loss, man. Prayers for your son and your wife and his brothers. You how many kids you have? You two or three?
Two. So we have one living now and one not living, but yeah,
Yeah.
two kids. So
And
go
keep
ahead. Yeah, thank
keep
you,
kicking
Robert. I
ass,
appreciate
Tim.
it. Thank
And
you.
then um, I feel this other comment is going to take us down a different road, but I'm gonna Dick. I see your other comment. I'm gonna bring that up here in just a second. But yeah, I think that's a good way, kind of, to honor your son, if to keep laughing, especially in his spirit of being so brave. I'm like such an optimist. Like I was like watching you guys do it, and you were living life like every day was its last. I seen you got to do a lot of cool stuff. You met Aiden Hutchinson. You went to a lot of ball games, and I mean that's um that's like the reverse end of it. It's like the most terrible thing in the world. It, but you didn't take any time for granted, which was like
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean so we got to meet quite a few really cool people. My kids got to hang out with Nate Bargatze backstage this past spring, which was awesome. Um, and but the coolest thing about it, not the coolest, but like one of the most moving things about it, is you really get to see, like, we kind of live in a time where we're pretty divided and not connected to one another as much, and I feel like that grows every day. And like being part of this experience, like, kind of peeled back the layer of life, and you got to see like the glue that holds everyone together, because the community locally and then at large and then truly like worldwide um, really showed up to support us. And my wife and I feel like we have like this lifetime of debt to pay back. So we're putting together a lot of like fundraiser comedy shows now for families that are going through, the same thing we are. And yeah, it was just amazing to like, to get that support. It made my wife and I very thankful that neither her nor I are assholes, because I don't know how they do it in these situations.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. Here's the question that Dick wrote a long time ago. Um, when did you realize you're about to take comedy seriously or understand that you were funny enough to get paid?
Is that to me or you, Mike?
That I think that's to you.
Yeah, yeah,
I can expound on it.
yeah,
You have
yeah.
such a
No,
great story. I feel like I don't have to talk that much.
yeah, yeah.
You
No,
know,
I
and that's
can. I think the first time someone paid me, I mean, that was like once I realized, like, you can get paid to do your favorite thing in the world. I mean, that's like fanning the flames of motivation right there. There's not much more you need from there.
yeah, yeah. That's a good feeling. Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gives you. You're like, oh, yeah, they paid me. You know, hey, I'm good enough to
Yeah,
get
I mean,
paid.
I can honestly say, like, I would say a good half of the shows I've ever done in my life, um, I would have done them for free anyways, because I'm having that much fun up there.
Yeah, we're gonna edit that part out. We're not gonna let the people know you'll do it for free.
Yeah.
That's funny
I mean,
because
that's
they'll
not
be
gonna
like,
happen now, but I'm just saying, like, that's a testament to how much fun,
they're like, I seen
I'm
you on the
having.
live cast. It says you're doing free
Yeah,
shows.
yeah, yeah.
Come on
Actually,
down here, man.
if the cause is good enough, I will.
Yeah, we're gonna have you down here at the bikini show and
Yeah.
the bikini bar. Come on
Yeah,
down, Tim.
I'm still discretionary with what I take, but yeah, I'm still known to work for free if it's a good cause.
So I'll tell you my story, man, of when I decided to like take it, like the final like straw where I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I had this crazy day when I was in Los Angeles. I seen that Judd Apatow was gonna be at the UBC theater for $5, and I was like, and it was called the name of the show was called Making Money Doing Screenplays, and I was like. Judd Apatow, he's like done all my favorite stuff, Freaks and Geeks,
Sure.
40-Year-Old Virgin, pretty much everything with Seth Rogen, and I'm just like, oh shit, man, this is awesome. $5. I can't believe it's $5. And I go down there to the UBC theater. The parking was $5. I was like, see, I can't believe it. You can park for $5. You're gonna learn from Judd Apatow, parking for $5, right? And I'm just in line. I'm talking to everybody. I'm like, $5. I can't believe he's gonna teach us for $5. Like it's the best deal of all time. And I get to the front. And the lady has the clipboard, and I'm like, can I get a ticket, please, to see Judd Apatow? And she's like, oh, we're all sold out, but I can put you on the wait list. And I was like, okay, yeah, put me on. I'm like, where am I on the wait list? And she's like, you're 30th. And I'm like, okay, that's not good. But anyways, I just sit in line. I was super pumped that he was there for $5. Like, cause I'm a value guy. Like, if you don't like know, like I'm always looking for good deals. Like
Yeah.
I'm like a super shopper. Like if I can find a good deal, I'm like, hell yeah. I'm like, $5. You can't believe this, $5. And anyways, the line starts moving up and they get to the wait list. And the first person on the line, they're like, John plus three. And he goes, I only have two. But this was the guy I was just like literally talking to, going $5. And I go, can I be his plus one? He goes, yeah, can you be the plus one? And I go, okay. And I get in and I get stage left, second row, and Judd Apatow comes out. Everybody's like, Judd Apatow, yeah, yeah, Judd Apatow. And he goes, who's here for entertainment and who here wants to learn? And I'm like, I'm here to learn, baby. I'm here to learn. And I'm like the loudest one by far. And he looks at me and he goes, hey, what do you want to learn about? And I said, man, I cut grass in the summer and in the winter I come out to LA to learn as much about stand-up comedy as I can. And I love all your movies, and I started naming them all off. And I said, so anything that you want to teach me, I want to learn. And he goes, all right, I like you. And then all of a sudden he's like, I want to introduce you to a special guest tonight. Everybody give it up for Jeff Garland. And Jeff Garland comes on stage and they start bantering back and forth. He's like, Jeff Garland's like, you never give me any good parts. You make me the bad guy in all your movies. And they're just going back and forth. And then somehow it gets back to me. And he like looks at me and he's like, so did you think about what you want to learn about? And I was like, uh, how do I get into movies with you and Seth Rogen? And like the audience was like, yeah, that's exactly what we came for. You know what I mean? Like that's why
Yeah.
they were like, all right. And Judd like rubs his chin and he's like, he's about to answer. And Jeff Carlin cuts him off, comes right up to my face. And he's like, I'll tell you what you do. You sell that stupid lawn service and you just do it. You just got to do it. And I was like, and so I went back. I mowed my last year of grass. I sold the business, and I've been doing it ever since.
That's
It's full
good.
time. Yeah. So that's my story.
So when are you
Um,
gonna be on Judd Apatow movie?
yeah, I just, I've been just waiting for his call
Yeah,
back, but I'm sure
it's the
that
last piece.
one of these days, like
Yeah.
we're gonna run into each other again, and I'll tell him the story, and you know, like if I'm in a movie that's like that's awesome. It's not gonna make me happy or unhappy if I'm in it. Like I'd love to do it. I'd love to be in a Judd Apatow movie.
Yeah.
It'd be like the best thing ever. But I'm already so grateful. I get to literally spend time with my kids every day. I get to do comedy full time. I get to talk to people like you and just hang out with my friends and travel the country. So I'm totally grateful.
Plus you were in a Matt Kahn short film, which I don't know,
Yeah.
in my book might even be better than Judd Apatow.
Well, one day the game's not over. We're in the first quarter. Matt
Yeah.
Kahn, he's coming up. He's behind Judd Apatow, but he's sneaking up with some shorts and some movies, and
Yeah.
you never know. One day I'll be using that as a credit. I was in a Matt Kahn short film. I didn't have any lines, but I was there. I was there. And
Did you see Life's Not Fair yet?
I have not seen it.
Oh yeah,
Is it on YouTube right now?
I'm not sure. He just debuted it at One Night Stands on the 29th of December. I don't know if he threw it up there or not. You might want to ask him, but it's pretty darn good. He did a nice
Yeah,
job with it. So it's starring Dave Landau, and then it's a
it's
who's
fun.
who of different comics in the area.
I've been messing with Matt because I was supposed to go in there and be an extra for a scene, and I had two shows the day that they were filming, and I could only come at this certain period of time, and the scenes got moved, and I've been just joking with him. I'm like, "You cut me out of your movie, Matt. You cut me out. You
Yeah,
cut me out." And I'm glad. It looks good. I can't wait to watch it, and I mean, it's a good premise. What Dave is like a down and out guy and he's on the rebound and he's at a circus or something like that? Like, what's the
yeah.
premise?
I actually, I've been particularly emotional here the last few months, but when I watched it, I sent Matt notes afterwards, and I'm like, I actually like teared up at the end because the entire thing is like the answer to him like being down and out, and all of that is like going back to comedy. And there's kind of like this beautiful scene where he's a guesser at a fair, and he's just using that like to do crowd work. And then you see like this short little cut to him where he talks about how much he missed it, and that's kind of where it leaves it, where like that's the answer. And granted, this is like a pilot episode, so he has like ideas of where to go from here, but it's really well done. It's got a good arc to it.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I can't wait to see it, and hopefully I can have Matt on here shortly, and he can promote his film. That'd be
Yeah,
great, or his
absolutely.
pilot.
Yeah.
That'd be a good idea. Write that down. Put that in the notes. Whoever's watching, comment that so I can do that. And if you guys are enjoying what we got going on, like and share this stream. That's how we're gonna grow this channel with the Future of Comedy Show live cast, where we have comedians on, Future Comedy Show regulars, and people all over the world come in. We get to ask them questions. You get to ask any questions you want. um, Tim, working comic, been going through the gauntlets of life, being tested in every single way. And here we have a long comment from Tom Macy.
Oh,
Tim,
Tom, how are you, buddy?
Tim, quite simply, you spread joy and laughter while your heart is sad. That is so beautiful and healing to the soul. You are a talent. I'll always enjoy sharing the stage with you. Prayers to you, the Finkel family, Tim. Yeah, Tom.
Thank you,
Tom.
Tom. I appreciate that.
Tom's coming to do a show with me. Finally, he's going to make his debut in Marion, Michigan, coming up. Tickets will be going on sale shortly for that. That's going to be a good lineup. That's Tom, Kara Karachi, and Mitch Gill. So we're pulling Kara Karachi out of retirement too. You
Yeah,
know, and
that's a lot of energy there on that show. That's good.
yeah, they're not going to know what hit them. Their dicks are going to be flying off. Fucking crazy, dude. Yeah, I love Kara Karachi. I'm so glad that she's coming back. It's funny. Okay, here we go. Jimmy Dunsmore. Matt Kahn is my Rob Reiner. Oh, look
Hmm.
at
I
that. And look
I think I can agree with that, Jimmy. That's a good one.
and look at Jimmy's profile picture. That's beautiful. That's like a almost you could put a little Coca-Cola slogan on that and that'd sell. That'd sell. It was awesome. There you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Marty from TC. TC's funny lady coming in here. Hey guys, what's up,
Hey,
Marty?
Marty.
Marty's going to be up in Gaylord coming up in a few weekends on the 23rd at BJ's in Gaylord. Come see myself and Marty, Jay Bell, and another person I can't think of off the top of my head. I don't have the list here, but should be a great show either way. Um, yeah, man. What do you think's in your long-term goals? Like, what would make you happy? What when the dust settles and you've
Well,
been in a few MatCon movies and all that. What would you be
yeah,
happy with?
that's a good question. I quit my like day job last September to focus on my family and my son's treatment, and it got so like all consuming toward the end that like there was no way I could work. So um I had this like brief moment in time where I got to take the satisfaction of like not contributing to capitalism, which is if you ever have the opportunity, it's awesome. And I was just doing comedy, and so I guess to answer your question, goal wise, if I never had to go back to a corporate job, that would be uh, probably my primary goal. And just simply to like, if I can continue what I'm doing and, not have to have a 9 to 5, I would be happy about that. And then really my goal is to um, use my comedy to help other people. So you've probably done some comedy for cancer shows before, right? Through JD.
Not through JD. I've done some breast
Okay.
cancer stuff, but not
Yeah,
through
yeah.
JD.
So
He had me on a show, but then it got canceled. So,
okay,
and I
yeah.
have
So JD's been doing it for a long time. His daughter also passed away from brain cancer, and that's kind of what got him down this path. But he is actually looking to step down from that role and wants me to take that over. And I think, like, in terms of goals, like, if I can take that over and kind of grow it and expand it from what it already is, which it's already awesome, and he's raised, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars over the years. If I can take that and build on it and then just continue to progress with my own career and then connect with people on this like new, I don't think I'm going to be a comic that talks about cancer for the rest of my career, but for the time I'm in right now, I think that it's kind of impossible to go on stage and not address the thing that's on my mind 100% of the time. So,
yeah.
if I can kind of find this new lane in comedy and use it as a way that to help people, that's kind of the goal. So I know that's not like this like definitive tangible goal, but it's the concept I'm going for. I've also been writing a book for the last 2 years, and finishing that up and actually getting that published would be a huge goal of mine.
Yeah, awesome. Well, let me start in the beginning. Number one, not having a job and just being a comedian, you can do that. I mean, you are good enough to do that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I mean,
put
my
that
kids still
put
need to eat though.
yeah, but I mean, you just gotta. This is how I looked at it. I always kept my overhead low, and I
Yeah,
just reverse engineer what your nut is for the month, and just figure out like this is how many gigs I'm gonna have to do, or I, I had to start my own show for it to work. I know
yeah,
sometimes it's hard just picking up gigs, but like, just reverse engineer that number because you're talented enough and you're smart enough. So like I mean, if anybody can do it, it's you. It's you, Tim. I've seen your act. I know your personality. You're a smart guy. You can do it. There's no
yeah.
doubt about it.
Yeah, it's now that it's the first of the year, my son died in late October, so we've kind of been just focusing on the holidays, and now that it's the first of the year, we kind of feel like we're like building all back up again and figuring out a path forward. So yeah, I mean, all of that stuff would be awesome to be able to do.
Yeah, and I mean, that's great that you're gonna if you can raise some money for cancer, or to beat battle cancer or whatever, and I think that's a very noble and great goal. I mean, I mean, if anybody could raise $1 million, it's you. I don't know if there's like a monetary number you want to raise or
Yeah,
what,
I
but
mean, yeah, like I said, nothing's like that specific right now. I just it kind of goes back to like we received so much support. Our story was fortunate to kind of be world reaching thanks to a few key people who helped get our story out, and the result of that was, we got a lot of financial support from people worldwide while neither my wife and I were working. And so we're kind of want to take that like seed money that we have to kind of roll it in to build something that pays that forward in a larger amount than what we received. So if we're able to pull that off, I'll be real happy.
well, my thing froze for like the last minute of what you
Oh,
were
all
just
right.
talking about. What was that last part? Run it back for me, and then here, real
Uh,
quick, before we got Jimmy. He's gonna give you some big hugs on Thursday.
I'm hoping
Tim's
I'm gonna be there, Jimmy. My wife let me know we have a wedding in Saugatuck, and we may be leaving Thursday night, so I may or may not be there Thursday. I hope to, though. I got one new opening joke I'm dying to tell on stage. So,
Oh, well, shit! My freaking TV just went off. You talk to him for a minute, Tim. I gotta hit my AirPlay.
all
Keep
right,
talking. I'm here. I'm here. I don't know what happened here. It's like everything that can go wrong is going there. Let's see where we go. I got
yeah,
him. I got him.
you back?
Yeah, I can hear you. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know if it froze up earlier for you guys as well, but kind of what I was explaining to Mike is like my main goal is to kind of use comedy to help people and to help navigate people through these difficult situations that we were unfortunately placed in, and do that in a way that's hopeful and funny. Because one of the main things we learned throughout the last 2 years is that my son's cancer was in his brain stem, so that regulates all of your motor function, everything. It didn't impact his cognition. He was still smarter than you, Mike, but
Hey, that's not saying
he,
much.
but over time he continually lost more abilities, and he would always say like the one ability that I'm never going to allow it to take from me is my ability to laugh. And so I mean, that's the seed of my inspiration of where I want to go from here.
Well, that's fantastic, and that's that's the best way to look at it, I think, because I mean, there's two ways you can go. You know what I mean? You can go into a hole and kind of be stuck in the the black hole of depression, which I mean, nobody would blame anybody for that, but using your adversity to power through and help others, and bring back that circle that you know makes the world a better place. And you were kind of talking about how like the world's more divided than it's ever been before.
And I don't even
Um,
know if it's division, like in the textbook idea of it, where we're like there's right and left and all that. I don't even know if it's division. I just feel like we just live in an environment that's fertile for people to lose connection with one another. We just have like these, digital algorithms served up to us and curated, and everyone has their own specific lane, and all that does is like separate people because no one experiences the same thing anymore, which is a beautiful thing about comedy because everyone's in the same room experiencing the same thing at the same
yeah,
time. And we are losing that. Like when I grew up, we lived in like a monoculture. So everybody had experienced the same thing. Everybody went and saw Back to the Future. It didn't matter what you know, what your beliefs were or anything like that. We all watched the same shows. We read the same papers, magazines, news, and then you formed your opinions from there. And that we don't have a monoculture anymore. We don't have one culture. It's like I said, it's everyone's like specific lanes, and you just
Yeah,
fall into that and the echo chamber of that. And so
I,
um,
I, I
that's
think
what
you
I'm
and I,
referring.
I think
That's
you and I
what.
were talking about this,
Yeah,
that
that's what I'm
people live
referring
in
to when I'm
two
talking
different
about loss of
algorithms.
connection. Yeah,
People
yeah.
live in two
I'm
different
trying to work on
algorithms.
a joke about algorithm shaming, about how
Yeah.
like that's going to be the next faux pas. Is like, don't algorithm shame me.
Here we go. Some comments here. Thinking of you, Tim.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Marty.
Marty. Jimmy says they're always there when we're together or you need them. And then Tom says you guys are awesome. I'm excited to be part of your journey, your passion shows, and talking with you. Laughter is the best medicine. Keep spreading the gift of joy, my friends. Look at that. And I think I just talked to Tom on the phone, and I think he has the same idea as you. He's like, let's just get out there and make these people laugh. Let's
Yeah.
just
Do you have any viewers that aren't comics?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, actually, I think I don't know. They're actually all
Yeah, I
but
appreciate it.
we're just talking about
Yeah, yeah,
comedy. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think that's what I actually all the comments are. Well, we had one earlier, Brandon from Port Huron, and yeah, that's it. They're all comics.
That's great.
So
It's nice to see everyone. Hear
it's the
from everyone.
community right here.
Yeah.
And Robert said, "Hope to share the stage with you, funny young bucks someday." Yeah, Rob,
Where's
he's up
Robert
in
from? Do you know Robert?
He's from Saratoga Springs up in New York.
Oh, nice.
So, Rob, I'll come see you, man. Oh, here we go. Patreon supporter, uh, the naked guy in the sauna, Nick S, baby, one of my favorite viewers here. All the sadness Tim's gone through recently working with Dave Lando, that must have been traumatic. Uh,
Actually, Dave is like kind of a model of turning pain into purpose, and that's kind of, I mean, when you really get down to brass tacks of like what his act is about, Dave's been through a lot of trauma in his life, and he's used comedy to work through that and to, you know, turn it into. Dave's one of those comics that, like, when I work with him, it makes me so happy that he found comedy, because he's one of those comics where like it would be an absolute shame if he never did comedy.
yeah. Oh, he had a path. He chose sobriety, and if he didn't do that, man, it could be way different for
Yeah, his
Dave because
book is
he lived a
great.
crazy life.
If you haven't read his book, it's fantastic.
I haven't read his book yet, but I have his old DVD from a long time ago. It's so funny. It's signed,
Yeah,
and has all the Detroit comics in there. Brandon says, I'm not a comedian, but my wife thinks I'm funny. Hey, get it where you can get it, buddy. That's for
that's
sure.
great, Brandon, because I am a comedian, but my wife doesn't think I'm funny. So
Hey, hey, that's funny. Jimmy says, I was scrolling through and saw two of my favorite people and had to chime in. We love having you, Jimmy. Future comedy show regular Jimmy Dunsmore popping in
Jimmy's
there. Here, Don Finkel. We got some family in here. Tim,
oh,
we're
look at
listening.
that.
We
That's
love
my
you.
dad. Hey, Dad, how are you?
Oh, hey, you're Don the Choo Choo Train, brother. Hell yeah, dude. I like that. You got a big here. Let's see. Uh Stephanie says, I'm here and not funny, according to Mike. That's my girlfriend right there. And Stephanie is funny, but like I just can't give it to her all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like I gotta make her work for it. But sometimes she like really surprises me and I get a really good laugh and I'm like, you are funny.
Yeah,
You
that's
are hilarious.
when it's off the beaten path, that sometimes is the best.
Yeah, Stephanie makes me laugh, but I got to I'm a critic. You know, I watch some of the funniest people in the world, so it's hard to you know, for me to give it up. If it's because if I tell you you're funny, you're funny. Like
Yeah.
that's for sure. Like I ain't
Nate
blowing smoke up nobody's ass.
Nate Bargatze used to do a joke about that, where his wife says, "How come you never laugh around me like you do around your friends?" And the punchline was, "Yeah, I hang out with professional comedians all day, you know,
Yeah,
because they write
yeah.
jokes every day. What do you write? Lists?"
List, yeah, that's oh, that's great. Chris says he's an aspiring comedian. I like the input, and I'm trying to figure out how things work. Well, keep watching, Chris. Chris did his first show with us in Ithaca, and he crushed. He's brand new. He's a baby of comedy, but he's got a good voice, and I think my advice for the people who are just starting out is you just got to keep doing it. You just got to keep doing it. That's it. Can't give up. You can't get fired from comedy. You quit. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I would also say be as patient as you are persistent, because I think there's a lot of comics that get into it now and their patience does not match their persistence. So they're in year one and they're like, all I got to do is work for clips. If I don't get clips that go viral and do all of this, I like barely have an online presence because I hate all of that. And you can still find a lane that is not the same as what every other person is doing. So there's so many new comics that like just think that like if they're not on TikTok throwing clips up there, they'll never make it. But there's a lot of people who
Yeah.
have quote unquote made it that way and they don't have an act at all.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
I
my
mean, you got
advice would be just obsess over your act.
yeah.
Obsess over that, obsess over all of that. Don't worry about the marketing side of it, and then be as nice as you can to everyone you interact with.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Treat everyone like $1 million customer. Stephanie's chiming in. He's intimidated. Yeah. Stephanie's coming for my job. My girl's coming for my job. Actually, about to retire, be a stay-at-home dad. I'm gonna send Stephanie on the road. She'll be out there doing.
Yeah, that's always a good quote. Oh, you're frozen again, Mike.
Port Hope. Am I back? Am I back?
It's definitely you because I'm watching on the live stream and I'm moving
Yeah,
around.
I can see myself on the laptop because I don't know what's going. We got a whole shebang here. I don't know what's going on here. Robert Yuri says right, right, right. Can you still not hear me, Tim?
I can hear you now.
Okay,
My
good, good,
dad was
good.
chiming in there, letting you know he's from Port Hope, the thumb of Michigan, which I know you've done some
Yeah,
shows up that way. I don't know if
yeah, Port Hope.
you've probably done like Harbor Beach before or Port Austin, those areas.
Port Austin, that's where I was. I did a lot of shows in Port Austin. That's a crazy town, man. Those people are freaking wild. Wild people up in Port Austin. We had one lady, it was crazy. Like she was heckling and then the audience turned against her and they were like, "Shut up." And then the one lady like threw something at somebody and then they chased each other out of the bar. It was crazy. I was like, "Oh, this is the most insane show of all time." Robert, right, right, right. Jeff Farvel, the Alaskan man. He's going to be up in Marquette with me in March 13th and 14th. He says, that's why I only perform in Eskimo villages naked. Niche market. You found
There
it,
you go.
dude. You found it. The Eskimo market. Uh, I don't clips. I have kilts.
I like
Jimmy's
your
finding
quotes
his.
better than clips, Jimmy. That's good.
There you go. Then Mike's been a little fuzzy at times. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my internet. I'm trying. I paid for like the booster for the internet. You plug it in the wall and it boosts, and I'm gonna have to get my money back because it's not boosting very well. That's for sure. I don't know. I can't see how much time we did.
We're at
What are we at?
53:25 at the moment.
Okay, we got 6.5 minutes here. We got 6.5 minutes, and we're getting to the end. I think we covered a lot of good stuff about comedy, man. This is people people care. People care about comedy, man. They're interested. It's like I get obsessive about it. That's especially in the beginning when you get all the books. The Steve Martin book, I read that. Born Standing Up. That's a good book.
Here's a comedy question for you. Do you think we're pre-comedy boom, current comedy boom, or post-comedy boom right now?
Oh, we're in a comedy boom right now.
Yeah,
You think? Yeah, I mean, you agree with me?
I agree, but I debate all the time whether we're on the starting on the downside of that or not?
Well, you never know. You never know. It's like the stock market. You don't know where it's
Yeah,
gonna go. But I say that there's more places to perform than ever right now, especially
yeah,
in
that's
Michigan.
true. Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, like when I first started, I had to go to Lansing to go do an open mic at Connections Comedy Club, or go to Grand Rapids to go Dr. Grins, or Detroit for Mark Ridley's. And now there's shows almost every day in the Tri-Cities. It seems like there's a new comedian being born every second. Um, and I think that's a good thing. I think
Yeah,
it's great.
I always say the unspoken thing about comedy is new comics are quite often more critical and more important than even seasoned vets. I got a question for you. What made you want to like build your own market and
It
build
was
like create all of that?
So when I used to mow grass, I listened to this podcast, and it had Mike Myers from Saturday Night Live, and
Sure.
he's fantastic, and he was talking about building your own stage. He was talking about like how sometimes people feel discluded, so they're like, oh man, they don't have me on their show, and they get bummed about it, and they're like, oh man, like, uh, he said, "Don't get bummed. Just build your own stage. It'll probably be more special than whatever anybody else is doing, because it's yours." And when I first started, there was nowhere in town to get up, so I was like, "All right, I'll." And it was actually all by kind of happenstance, because I was promoting for Ralphie May, and I was putting up a poster, and I went to Hill's Bar, and the owner was like, "Can you put on a show here?" And I said, "Absolutely, I could do that." And I went down to Lansing where I was doing all the open mics, and I said, I picked my favorite comics, and I said, "Hey guys, you guys are the future of comedy. Let's go do a show up here." And I called it the Future Comedy Show, and just have been doing it ever since. So I mean, and there's a thing too, because like if you want to make a living doing it, um, you can try to depend on somebody to book you all the time, which is hard, and maybe you have more belief in yourself than other people have in you, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
where like I was probably headlining before I should have, but better I got better because I pushed myself in positions that maybe I wasn't ready for, but it made me better, because if I had 25 minutes and I was doing 45, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to make it work. I'm not going to get off the stage until my 45 minutes is done. So it kind of it it was like maybe I wasn't ready, but you're never ready for anything.
I think most
So
people who start headlining are not ready, and you're ready to be at the table, but you're not ready to have the best seat you possibly could have at the table yet.
yeah, and that you got to do stuff before you're ready. I mean, and
Yeah,
it's fine. It's okay to do your own thing, and I think that people should. 'Cause if somebody's sitting at home and they're sad because somebody doesn't book them, and they're like, "Oh man, I never get booked here. I never get booked there." Go. This is my advice to people that are producing shows and they're doing it, is go to wherever you live, where you know the most people, and then go find your funniest friends and put on a show for them. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Start your own thing and put on I always say a good show will grow. So put on a great show, and now you have your own spot to perform at whenever you want, whenever you can do it, and you're not waiting for somebody else to say, "Hey, you're good enough," or whatever. You passed this, or you hung out with me, or you smoke weed, or do some kind of drugs, kind of thing. Like, you're just dependent on yourself, and it kind of built organically for me. And now I'm almost at 900 shows I've produced, public shows to the
wow.
public, not including not including any private events. So it's probably over 1,000, but 900 public events. And it happened organically. But I think there's different, and that's the other thing, is that there's different strokes for different folks. Whatever works for you. If you're working a 9 to 5 and you make good money, uh, selling cars or doing whatever, stay at that job, dude. Make your money, pay your bills, and go do comedy at night and
Yeah,
enjoy it.
I think there's like a misconception that you can't progress if it like that. It has to be the only thing you're doing to progress because sometimes like I had a solid job and comedy like I had like the safety net of that. So then you can be selective. You can I still think you can hone it really well, even if it's not the only thing you're doing, because there's a benefit to not having to do every single shitty show that pays you whatever because you have to make ends meet. And if you can
Yeah.
like, I mean, there's benefit to doing bad shows, especially in the beginning. But I think once you put a solid act together and you know what your batting average is in front of a myriad of different crowds, I think at that point you can start progressing even better by trying to stay in front of quality audiences.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's definitely a progression because in the beginning you just gotta do whatever you can do.
You got to be
And
uncomfortable. You like it. Discomfort is important, but the further you get into it and the more you know what you're doing, discomfort is not as much of a requirement.
here we got a couple comments in here, and I want to circle back on what we're talking about. I do see more comics taking care of each other than it was 30 years ago. We do push each other's more these days. Yeah, that's a benefit of producing your own show is that you can pay more than club rates to people that you
I
work
agree
with.
with you, Jeff, and I always feel like a rising tide lifts all boats. So I've never really understood competition within comedy because you want everyone, like all audiences, to enjoy comedy. So like it benefits everyone for all of us to be as funny as we possibly can. So I've like really like seriously never understood how people get competitive in comedy.
Yeah, and it's like you're not competing against anybody. What you're doing is building an audience.
Yeah.
So
If
like,
anyone, if you're competing against someone, it should be yourself. That's it. You're
yeah,
competing
because
to like evolve and get better.
there's an audience for everybody. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And
absolutely. The more I
you
get
know,
into comedy, the more I appreciate comedy that's not for me. I like
yeah,
watching, like, I mean, comedy that's for me, most of it, I've seen or heard, or, it's very rare that there's something brand new, unique voice of some kind. But I really enjoy watching comedy that, like, is not at all targeted toward me.
here we go. Very cool talking with you guys. Thank you, Robert. Keep kicking ass. Billy Hoffman says, "Hey, I know that guy. What's up,
Hey, Billy,
Tim?
I'll see you on the 24th. Am I right? I'm pretty sure I'm right on that.
24th of January. Where you guys at?
Fenton somewhere. We'll see if
Fenton.
Billy rings in correctly on that.
Day job provides insurance, and comedy gives me the sanity to survive. That's
I
a
like
great way
that,
to look
Jim.
at it." Linda Finkel, I was probably the first person to hear your first joke when you were in the high chair. Hey, is that your
That's my
mom?
mom.
You got your mom and dad watching? That is
Yeah.
awesome. I love that. I love that. Jeff said 109%. Robert's agreeing with Tim. I love and appreciate the comedy and all the comics there are, including you guys. Everyone needs that laugh. And uh and just circle back to what we're talking about about the only thing. Like, yeah, I don't think it has to be your only thing. I think you could be a great comic
Yeah.
by having a day job. But also, I've been into the mindset. I read this great book. It's called The One Thing, and
Yeah.
it talks about like basically energy, like for easy math, like if you have 100 units of energy and you're working 40 hours a week at your job and 10 hours a week at comedy, it means you're putting 80% of your energy into your work and 20% into your dream. So I always looked at it like, man, I just want to put as much energy towards it. And I look at it like if you're trying to do it professionally, you got to find a way to flip that 80. So you're doing 80% comedy and then 20% just to make that bill, that nut until you get it.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know how much I agree with that philosophy because there's other, especially with comedy, like there's other avenues you can do. So like certain things outside of energy, when you outside of comedy can create more energy that then can be brought into comedy. So like when you're kind of well-rounded. Like you can do multiple things that then maybe you had that 100% of energy you said, and then maybe that creates 200% because you're creating energy from other things that you bring to the
Uh,
comedy.
you just gotta have a bigger battery for all your energy, dude.
Well,
Because
yeah, I
that's
mean that's a
yeah,
requirement. Yeah.
yeah. You gotta do it. I mean, there's different ways to do it.
But
I've always
I know what you mean. I've had different endeavors in life that I wouldn't have been good at if I wasn't like 100% focused on them.
Here we go. The Dad Bod Comedy Club in
There it
Finkel.
is.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know there was a Dad Bod Comedy Club. Well, congratulations, Billy. I didn't know about that. Congratulations. So perfectly said, Tim. We're all on the same team in competition within ourselves. Really depends on your goal of comedy. I used to have fun and pay my truck payment every month, not my mortgage. And that's true too. That's the main thing. You got to know what your goal is and work backwards. That's you can't do it if you don't know what you want. Um, I think we hit the 60-minute mark. Any
Let me
last
ask
words
you
for these people?
one last question here, Mike. Do you still get a high off comedy, and I'll be more specific. Do you still get a next day high off of comedy? When you first started, you'd have a killer set, you'd think about it the entire next day. Does that still happen for you?
It's a drug, brother. I'm
Yeah.
chasing the dragon. Once you have that, it's funny because the more you do it, the more you get used to it.
Yeah.
So like sometimes like I could have a great set where people are like, man, you killed it. But I'm thinking about the time like that show that was a week ago or 2 weeks ago when I was just in such a rhythm and I was
Yeah.
feeling so good and I was in this creative mode where I was like just coming up with stuff and I just felt so good where like sometimes you've done your act where you're like, all right, well, I did my act, but it wasn't magic for me. So it does happen, but it's harder. Like it's like you've been on the drug too long. You're like, all right, I'm looking for that next level of killing.
Yeah, so
Um,
I'll call back to the original question I had on here, which was best show, worst show. That's what made this last weekend the best show because I haven't had that feeling in a very, very long time. And this last weekend's show, like the fact of like being able to return to the stage after everything we've been through, created that feeling again of like the high the next day and then like just all these ideations of where I want to go from here. So that's what made it the best.
well, I'm glad you're back, and I'm glad that you're getting your voice out there, what you got to say. I think it's important that you do, and I'm behind you, man. I'm supporting you, whatever you want to do. We got a few more questions, and then we'll end this out. Robert said, "Comedy is a drug, that's for sure." I think even after a long time, we still learn from each other. Even perfect strangers before a show learn from each other, coaching the audience. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. And then Tom says, absolutely, guys, the adrenaline pump is real, like an old school fist fight. Yeah, yeah, that will get your adrenaline going. That will get it going right there. Billy says, my performance high dissipates when I get home and switch back into dad mode. But I've been a performer since I was 13. Okay, all right. That's good. You can turn it
Yeah,
off.
dad mode can certainly be sobering, that's for sure.
Awesome, Tim. God bless you, brother, and God bless you, Mike. Thank you, guys. So I think we had a great episode, man. I appreciate you coming on, Tim.
Absolutely. Thanks for
And
having me.
this show stays on Facebook for 30 days, and then Facebook deletes it. If you want to see any old episodes that we have, check out my YouTube. It's YouTube/ I am Mike Ball. Let me see if I can add a banner real quick. It doesn't matter. It's youtube.com/ I am Mike Ball. You can see the last 6 or 7 episodes we've done. We'll be back next week with another live at 8 p.m. Hopefully, we won't have all the technical issues that we had today where I have to everything went wrong, but it was a great episode, Tim, and I think that uh you're a great dude, man. You're strong, and I just appreciate you, man, and I'm looking forward to seeing your act with your new material and your new message. Any
Yeah,
last
thanks.
words from you?
No, just thanks for having me on. I guess you know, find me, friend me, and just stay tuned for whatever's next to come, which is undefined at the moment.
Where can they find you at, Tim?
Just Tim Finkel on Facebook, or then Tim Paul Finkel on Instagram.
Okay, and where do you live? What's your address? Where we come see you?
Oh, I live at 8675309.
And then last but not least, if you guys enjoyed the show, this is the Future Comedy Show live cast. Like and share the stream so we can keep growing this channel, have great comics on like Tim, and we will be back next week at 8 o'clock. Thank you, Tim. I'm going to end the stream, but I'll stay on for a second to talk to you. Have a
Sounds
great
good.
night.